Um, okay, I've started recording. So if I should copy this code right now, I can say showing you copied. If I go back to my VS Code and I paste it here, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Actually on the VS Code.
Okay, and yeah, and I click on enter. After a while, you see some downloads. It's telling me, okay, need to install the following package, blah blah blah. Okay, yes to proceed. Why? Now you're asking, look, the main point I just want you guys to get is that the documentation is so simple that I can just read the documentation and yes, the person has provided with the first step for me to create a new React project, and I can just pick this code and paste in my VS Code and it works. Can you see? It works. It's so easy. It works. So that's my point. Just the first point I just want you guys to know is that when you're creating documentation, you must assume that whoever is using your documentation, most especially if it's something that's like a React now or a new tool or a new software, a new programming language, like you must provide a code snippet. Don't just write it. Don't just write in your documentation that for you to start a new project, you need to um you need to write nps create dash next dash app. Don't just write it randomly in your document. You must create a code snippet. There are tools that enable you to do that. So this code snippet right now, it enables me to easily just copy this and paste. We have a class where we do, maybe this class, we might do our own, have a session where we create our own content so we can see how easy it is. So with that being said, let's just go to today's class. I just wanted you guys to see a sample of how content is being created for programmers, for developers. Me, if I want to learn how to do this now, I'll probably just come to React itself. This is from React, and I'll see how it's being done. And if I have other problems like maybe installation, I'll come to wherever it is. I can just pick this, download this, what do you call it? Copy this, everything that is here. I can copy everything that is here, and I will test it on my own page, and it works. As you can see, what this one is telling that this code give you this. I don't get confused here. Just this is how it is. This is how you create content. This is a sample of the content you create for developers. You must add code snippets, headings, sub-headings. Some will require you to add pictures also, what have you. So let's just jump right in to today's class. Let me share my screen. Okay, I want to assume you guys can still hear me. So today's class, according to our outline I drafted and submitted, so we're creating how to create engaging technical content using blogs, tutorials, or videos, and how to write effective documentations. Then look at tools and platform for content sharing. So the first slide here says, so how can you create an engaging technical content? Just like we saw earlier on, like there's a way you create your content that people want to read it. You don't just bombard them with letters, or you don't just bombard them with so much information. We are in an age where people want something that is very simple, easy to understand, something that is concise, something that is precise, something that I just say something like, okay, how to start a React project. Write nps create dash next dash app. Like people want something that is concise, something that is precise. So one factor you must look in when you are creating content is that in as much as you obviously write document, you write pages of content, but don't make it more interactive. Let your content be more interactive, let it be more engaging. And how do you make it engaging is when people can easily just um see an information. If I should open that React page for you, like you've been looking at, if you look at this page, let me go back to that one that we did. Look at this page. It has information, but at the same time, it's not too much information. And when you start scrolling down, you can see, even without reading what everything that is here, if I'm because most developers, they know what they are looking for. Do you get? They know what they are looking for. So when they see something that it makes sense to them, then they slow down. So even if I should come here as a developer and I'm scrolling and scrolling, then I see something about npx create next app, then obviously like I want to read what is above the code snippets. Do you understand? So now that's already caught my intention. Okay, I need to copy this code and paste it in my terminal. Like I used to say, like your main purpose is to ease the pain of a developer. Most developers hate, or at least they're not people that like to read too much information like that. So you have to make it interactive that even though you are putting information, let it also accompany with precise, um, something more precise, something that they can relate to, something that they can really understand. As you can say, everything that this guy wrote there is follows by a code snippet on how to try it out. Do you understand? So going back to our slide, so he said creating content includes writing blogs, crafting tutorials, we have said it before, and producing videos. So there's so many ways of creating content. What the one I just showed you now, the one I showed right now is more of documentation from the company itself. I told you React is owned by Facebook. So we are assuming that Facebook is the owner of React. And whoever created that content is working for Facebook. So they they have a website for React itself. And what we just read now right now is what they call documentation. To every product that's been released in the tech industry, there's always a documentation that comes with it. But most of the time, these documentations are not enough. There are people that will go through that documentation and they will not understand it. That's where the video tutorial comes in place. Now let's assume I went through the documentation and I don't understand this. The next thing on my mind will be like, okay, let me go to YouTube, or let me go to Medium. Medium is also a content creation website. Let me go to Medium, or let me go to Slack, or let me just type on Google. If you type it on Google, then Google will give you options on what have you. So basically, there are different ways you can pass your message across the audience. Then we go to number two. So I said engaging content captures the attention of developers and provide valuable insight. So you are trying to capture their attention, trying to make it make sense to them. If you imagine me as a developer, I'm trying to then learn it too. Let's make the class even more interactive. Let's assume I go to Okay. I want to assume you can still see my screen.
Yes.
So, so I typed in how to use map in JavaScript, and I have different options. So let's say I click on this now, on this web page, on how to use mapping. So this is the writer, this is the person that, so this is the, sorry, my network keep going on and off, and I have to keep reconnecting. So like I was saying, this guy that wrote the content for how to use mapping, as you can see, he created this is a picture, by the way, a picture, and this picture contains an array of numbers. Then this is the mapping that I'm trying to learn. Can you see that the first thing that he provided was an example of how mapping is being used, even before even before trying to explain to us how to use it. Now, me just looking at this alone, I'm not okay with it. I still find as if I can find something much better online. Do you understand? So probably I might just go back to my Google page and find a different content. Now this is a different content right now. This one also trying to teach me how to use map in JavaScript. You can see this one is even more precise. Why is this thing? This one they are giving me giving me on how to use it with examples. With examples, do you get it? Now this is the mapping itself that I'm trying to use. But looking at this one, I'll prefer to use this one than the previous one I read because this one is telling me to try it myself. Now with this, I'm really sorry. My network is really poor. And I have to keep connecting and reconnecting and reconnecting. Let's just go ahead. Maybe after the slide, you cannot go back to the practical part. So I don't keep going on and off. Okay, so the second point here is says, so like I was trying to explain, I was looking for how to just show you guys how you can capture the attention of your developers. I know you've been saying this since first class, so my aim was to try and make this one more practical, so you can actually see examples of other content, other samples. But I think because I keep going from the Zoom to my Google, I think probably it's affecting the network. So let's just stick with the slide for now. Maybe after the slide, then we can now try and look at how to create content and all that. So the third point there says, and also why do we create on we are still on creating engaging technical content for developers. So the third point says it helps developers learn, solve problem, and stay connected with it, obviously. But I'm more particular about the second point on how to capture the attention of the developers because it's very important. You can be creating content and you will not find you will not find people to read your content. And if you don't find people to read your content, then you cannot create an ecosystem or a community. And if you cannot create a community, then it means that people are not using your product unless you are just a random freelancer. Do you get? If you're trying to put a product out there for people to use, and you are using the various social media platform or content creation platform like just like we discussed here now, um, using Medium or Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or what have you. So you are trying to push a product out there for developers. You get. And one thing about developers is that developers are always they always like new things. If a new product should come out right now, most developers they'll start like, oh, Alpha guy, say you don't see this new tool. Let's even use a tool for instance. So for say you don't use React, say you don't use Next.js, say you don't hear about Python or whatever it is. So they're always they're always curious to go online and read about how it works. And mind you, when a new product is out, just like the way React is out right now, unless you are working, it's your own personal product. You get that various companies too that are also producing a similar product. Might not be the same name, but something that can do what yours can do. Do you understand? So there is a competition out there. It's more like the way we have React now. There are people that are not using React. There are people that they tell you that they use what's the other one self? I've forgotten. So aside from React, there are other shall I say frameworks that can do what React is doing. But as you all know, React is the most popular, most popular program tech companies like Amazon, Facebook, um, Google. They use they use React. Do you get? Facebook is built Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Actually,
Hello.
yes. Yeah, yeah, actually we
Okay,
can
I
hear
think
you.
I was disconnected for a while. Let me just go back to fine. So like I was saying, like if React was not so easy to use, if the documentations or the videos online, if they were not easy to understand, then people will not be using React. Do you get? But because React itself is very easy to use, and there are a lot of content, a lot of videos on how to use React, and it's way much easy to understand. So that's what makes it so popular to use. That's why most developers, especially junior developers or someone that is just trying to learn tech, the moment they learn JavaScript, they jump into learning React. React is a framework for JavaScript. So as a dev rel engineer, your work is to create catchy content, is to make your content easy to understand. Okay, your work is to create catchy content that developers can read. Like I always say, when you start working, you might start working as a freelancer, but the moment you start working with a company itself, then you see that your work will become much easier because you are working with developers, and you yourself, before you can even create a content, you try as much as possible to understand the product you are trying to push out there for people to use. So from this slide, there is a point I would like you guys to take very important is the fact that create content that captures the attention of the developer. Add pictures, add code snippets that the moment they come to your blog or your page, they want to stay. They already seen a snippet, they already seen something that will want them to read more. If it's just about write up and nobody won't have time to read. People read obviously, but they only read when you have caught their attention. So let's go to the next slide. Um, so I still want us to talk more on this creating engaging content because this is actually your area of focus. Okay, maybe I'll just before class ends, shall still come back here. So yeah, the next slide says writing effective documentation. Like I said, you need to write an effective documentation. There are a lot of documentation out there that is so difficult to understand. In fact, some of the documentations are not even written correctly. Like maybe some dev will just create content for the content's sake. They didn't even test or read what they have what they have created to see if it actually works. Do you understand me? So you must create an effective documentation. And you must let me say after you even publish your documentation, you can send it to a, a colleague who is probably a developer and like, okay, please can you check out this documentation? Do you find it um, easy to understand or is it okay? Stuff like that. So you must, in as much as you want to create documentation for a product. Let's say you're working with a company right now and they just release a new tool. Like let's assume you're working with escrow now and you want to tell your audience or your ecosystem on how to use escrow. How will you do that? Like, how do you plan? Will you do you want to add more of pictures or do you want to add more of um more of just writing? For escrow, for instance, now it has to be more of pictures because escrow is a company that provides a third party sort of service for two people that want to make a transaction. Do you get? So now escrow is not it's more of so if probably you have been employed to tell people about escrow, definitely you definitely use more pictures because no, it's not like they are trying to. Okay, for now though, for now maybe in the future, let's say escrow. Maybe you want to implement escrow in your own code base, then you have to use more of pictures because more of code snippets. Because for you to implement something in code base, it requires developers to see how it works, see how if probably they will need to download some libraries, if they will need some guide, they will definitely need guidance on how to implement it. But if you only want to tell people on how your product works so they can use your product, it is advisable to use more pictures because so you can show that oh, this is what you need to do. This is how you register. You have an account with escrow. This is how you make a transaction. This is how you make payment. This is how you withdraw your money. This is how you reach out to the for help and stuff like that. So creating an effective documentation is also dependent on the type of content you're trying to create. Sorry, I'm sorry. Can we just go back to? I just saw something that I didn't touch on. Still on creating engaging this technical content. I just saw it right now on my notes. Okay, okay. I think I've actually said most of the things I wrote down. I was looking for the way I wrote it down. So I think I've said, always define your audience. I said, always keep things clear and simple. That was where I talked about making your content precise. Then I talked about um, structure your content and let it be readable. That's where you make use of headings and subheadings, so people know that okay, this is the main heading, then these are the subheadings under the main heading. Then I said add visuals and screenshots, code snippets, and what have you. Okay, I think I've actually mentioned everything. And I said, okay, I also wrote down that I said avoid jargons and overly complex language. Always be precise, go straight to the point. And so, like if you are trying to tell them about installation, you don't need to add so much grammar or so much information. It can be as simple as to install React, type or write npx create React app. Do you get? Let it be as simple as possible. So we can go to, yeah. So I said in writing effective documentation, I said documentation is a vital resource for developers how a product, to understand how to use a product or a feature. Do you get? You are documenting for developers. It is developers that will use your product or your feature in their own code base. Do you get? So now you must you must write you're writing the documentation that to teach how to use your product or your feature or a tool. Do you get? So I said it should be very clear and concise and user friendly. So I said it should be very clear, concise, and user friendly. I think I mentioned that in the previous slide. So your documentation must be very clear. It's not about how many pages or how many words. It's about how they can really understand it. Even if it's a page and your content is passing across the message you're trying to pass across, then it's fine. It doesn't have to be like 5 pages or 10 pages or whatever. If it's just a page or 2 pages and your audience, they understand what you have written, what you have published, then that's very okay. Then I said, well-written documentation can reduce support requests and improve user satisfaction, which is always true. I think I told you about how the last the last what do you call it? We're trying to implement Bani. Bani is a payment platform into our code base, into our own website. So people can use Bani to make payments. And I said that their documentation was very poor. So because it was very poor, we had to reach out for their whoever wrote the program. So we had to reach out for their support system, what do you call it, their help, their customer service. And obviously, we are not satisfied with how difficult it is until we had to reach out to them. So I said a well-written documentation, if their documentation was well-written, I wouldn't have to reach out to their help and support. Do you get? But because it was poorly written, I'm going to show you Barney's website so you can see for yourself. It looks catchy, but then most of the things that was documented was not even existing. Imagine if you are told that okay, this is how the feature works, and when you try it, you get an error message that there is no library, there is nothing like Barney. That's just for instance. You get so the documentation was poorly written. There were so many jargons, things that were not even existing yet, but it was published and it was passing out the wrong information. So that is that. So let's look at the next slide. So we'll be looking at tools and platform for content sharing. So after you've created what do you call it, an engaging content or a well-written documentation, your next the next thing that'll be on your mind that which platform do you want to share it, or which tools are you using to share your your content. So I said you can use blogging platform like Mediums, you can use dev.to for sharing blog posts. Then you can use for making videos, you can use YouTube, you can use Vimeo, you can even use TikTok. Like thank God for this era that we are right now. You can create content from TikTok, you can create video content with Instagram. We have someone that's helping us to do that, and I can bet that most of our content are using video. She uses video to send to publicize our page to our audience. Do you get? So we use more videos. Then for documentation, you can use platform like GitHub pages. You can use you can create your own website. You can have your own website that people will know you for. And maybe whenever a new company, let's say now that you guys are still freelancers, you can have your own blog. Thank God you can create a page on Medium. Medium is free. You have to pay for to create content on Medium. And there are so many free blogs right now that you can register on and create content on. You can now share the link. Let's say you create a content now on Medium. Let me show you how it works. Let me just show you an example. So this is Medium. I have an account with Medium, so I can create content. Network is very poor today. So this is my account.
Mr. Adewale, actually, we still on the PowerPoint screen.
Just wait. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
Also, I have a question about the simplest way that the React.js documentation is, or how to use React, comparing with Angular or others framework that doing the same thing as it.
Thank you for reminding me.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's the question?
So the question is, what makes the React.js simpler than others framework that you using JS as main language?
Yeah. The funny thing that all other frameworks like Angular, like you mentioned, they are also JavaScript. Angular is JavaScript. But one thing I've seen is making React get its popularity is because it's easy to use. If I open for you a React code right now, sorry. So one thing I've noticed about React, why it has gained its popularity, because it's very easy to use. You can, if you type on and there are a lot of content. There are a lot of content on React, like good content, and even how you can use the whole stuff itself. I don't want to bombard you guys with too much content, but let me show you my code base. Let me just show you how I work, like my VS Code right now. Let me show you my VS Code. My VS Code, we are using React and TypeScript. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is just I would don't want you guys to get really confused by seeing all this. But with React, I've tried Angular before. I've gotten the other name. I don't know why I've forgotten their names. There's one other one too, apart from Angular. I also built with JavaScript. But you know, like you said, React, all these React, Angular, Next.js, they are all frameworks for JavaScript. But now, the moment you click, you type npx create React app, like it helps you, it creates the foundation for you. That's what makes everyone likes React. Like it helps you, it builds the structure. Like let me show, let me give you, let me do an example. Like that one I was even doing before. Let me share my screen again. Let me share this screen. I can't share multiple screen. No, I cannot share multiple screen. Okay. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, you can see the screen.
Okay, okay. So I want you guys to see, I want you guys to see something like how it helps you to build a well-written structure. So right now to it's downloading the library and every other resource you'll be needing for your project. So React is so easy that The moment you click on npx create React app, it comes along with a starter page. Do you understand? It comes along with a starter page. It comes along with how they can start and what they would need to start. The moment you do that npx create and finish downloading, you will see very soon they bring out a list of stuff for you here. It hasn't finished breaking them out. Can you see? This is how
Yes,
React 2 works. The moment you do that npx create React app, it just give it just gives you a kind of starter page, public, where you can easily just put your stuff, your app. It brings out for your packages that you have installed, whatever. Like it's it's maybe because you are not programmers, but me as a programmer, like if I'm trying to code and I'm seeing something I can just press and it gives me a starter page, a starting point for me to use their product. So it has already done like 10% of my work. So I'm very happy. So compared to the other frameworks like Angular, where you have to do some manual things by yourself, for React, it's very automatic. The moment you just do that npx create, like you see now, I did npx create next year. It asked me some few questions, and after answering my all my questions, it's helping me to download everything I've answered, which is very, very good. It's very, very good. Let me just cancel this because I'm not going to need this. I don't know if I can cancel it. Yeah, I've canceled it. So my point is that I think I was showing you guys something online as well. This is Medium. This is Medium. I have an account with Medium. So with Medium, you can easily create content. You can add title, how to use React. You can what do you call it? You can add pictures as well. You can add pictures and you can also publish. You can add pictures, you can add images. Sorry, sorry. So you can add pictures to your page. You can add videos. You can add a video. You can add you see. Hey, this is the part I want you guys to see. You can add a code snippet. With this now, you can what you can also embed a code here. Let me do something. Let me do something very quick.
yeah,
Let me
okay.
just come in. No, this is not what I want to do. Okay, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, you can switch on the Medium screen, then we can see it actually still on the VS Code.
Oh, oh my God. Why do I keep doing this? This guy is my screen.
Yes, now, yes.
Can I see my screen now?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
see
we
it.
can see, we can see.
Okay, now let me just go back. Let me just cancel this. So, like I said, in your content, you can add pictures, you can add videos, you can add a code snippet. What have you? And Medium is a very good example you can use to practicalize that. So when you click on tell your story, I can decide that okay, I want to start my story with a picture. I can decide to add picture. Let's assume I have I don't know if I have some good pictures. So this is my picture. So I can add a picture. Then after a picture, I can also add a video. I can also add a video. So it's asking me to paste the link to my video here. All right, that will pass. Let me let me just show you about that one of code block. So now this is the part that is very important. Like I said, it's all I like me personally. I like it when I'm reading a content about a feature and I can see a code on how I can try it. A code that I can just copy and paste. You get it makes my work easy. Okay, these guys they are already giving me what to do. If probably let me even delete this image. If it's how to use React and the first content here says um, install or let me say how to use React, install React into your terminal. This is just an example. So after saying this, and this, if for instance now, this code block now is not giving me how to actually install it in my terminal. So here it's just for me to pick what I'm trying to do. Let me just so you can pick the language you're working in. If you're programmers, if you're working with Python, you pick Python. If they're working with JavaScript, you pick JavaScript. If they're working with whatever Swift, TypeScript, whatever it is, you select it here. So for this one, let me just pick TypeScript. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So I've copied, yeah. So this now, I've copied a code from my VS Code into my blog, and it's readable. So if a developer should come to your page right now and they see how to use React, and you see something about install React into your terminal, and do not provide them with a code on how to do that, it makes so much sense. So it makes so much sense that they can easily just do this. You can easily just copy this. Sorry, you can easily just copy this. You can easily just copy this and paste in their VS Code. You get and it will run. So that's just what I want you guys to get. Like the way you create your content is very important. Either is it, but me personally, I like using what do you call it? I like using this code block. And thank God for Medium. So there are various ways as well. You can actually you can add a what do you call it? You can embed a video. You can what do you call it? You can add a picture. You can add an image from on Splash or what have you. This is just to tell you, give an example of on how to um, document. So after this, if I should not publish my content right now, it's asking me for a topic. Let's say how to use React. So um okay, it's giving me the high quality image in my story to make it more inviting for readers. Guys, please just give me a minute, please. Give me a minute. Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello,
we
yeah,
can
we can
hear.
hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So let me just, we have to rush this class. I'm really sorry. Tomorrow is Saturday, and I'm sure Aisha is going to fix a class for us, and we'll have a longer class tomorrow. So we can do more practice. So let me just try and round up this class. My time, I had that there's a class that is clashing with my own time. So we might not have enough. I was thinking we have much time. But let's click on publish. So I've published my story. I've published my content. So after now I can see how to use React. And this is the content that people cannot engage. Your audience cannot comment whether it's bad or not. But what I want to change, what I want to really want to point out for me is that you cannot click on this link. Now I want to copy this link right now. As you can see, it's already giving me options. So you cannot click on the link, copy the link for this particular blog, then go to your Twitter or your LinkedIn. Then you cannot give them a more of like a short intro on how to use React. Check out my blog. Do you understand? This is how you get people to use your to visit your page. It's how you get people. Tomorrow we're going to have more of class, and we'll do more of medium class. And I actually plan to give you guys a class, maybe like a kind of assignment, but let's see how it goes. You have to run on this class. So I said we also have practical tips. Can you see my screen? So we looked at
Yes.
practical tips for creating engaging content. So I said understand your audience needs and pain points. Use storytelling to make your content relatable. Incorporate diagrams, visuals, code samples. Very important. Then keep your content up to date to stay relevant. Then encourage feedback. Always, this is very important. Always tell your always tell your audience to tell you what they feel about your content. So, okay, thank God we are almost at the end of the. I wanted us to try this out today, but since your class is, we need to end the class. So I want you guys to just try something out. Go to Medium, open an account with Medium, then just look for a content. It doesn't have to be about programming language, but I want you guys to go on Medium, register, have an account on Medium, then create a content. So I want to just see your content um, creation skills, how you pass across to your audience. So if you can do that today, maybe before our class tomorrow, so I can just, or you can send me the link, just send me the link or the link to your content, the one you have created on Medium. Anything at all, whatever it is, maybe if it's how to use Mango or how to eat Mango or whatever it is, just create a content and send me the link. So I want to just look at how you guys interact with your audience. So tomorrow can now um can now talk about each of our contents. So I'm really sorry this class is very short and it's clashing with another class. I was thinking we have 2 hours so we can have much more practical class. I feel like we've done so much of talking and slides. So it's good if we start doing this more practical, if we start adding teaching you practically on how to create good content. So I will speak to Aisha and so get across to you guys what time we're having the class tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining. If you have any question, you can just drop the message on the group chat. I'm still here to answer Doni's message. I'm really sorry. This week has just been a lot for me at work. So please, if you have any question, just drop it out inside the group chat and I will answer them. And also for Duni's question last week, I'm going to answer it. I'm very sorry it's coming very late. I'm going to answer your question. And yeah, guys, thank you for joining and see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for understanding.
Bye.
I would share the link for tomorrow's class and the timing later. Thank you.